Hi, what's up everybody? I'm Edward, and let me begin today's video by asking, have you ever wondered why gaming peripherals are priced so much higher than those normal PC peripherals? Is it because these companies want to take advantage of us or force us to sell a kidney by increasing their profit margins just by adding the word gaming onto their products? For me, I've wanted to know this for a while, so I did a research, and in today's episode of Gamers Question Series, I will be attempting to answer these questions by sharing with you what I have learned. In the first part of this video, I'll be briefly summarizing the key differences between non-gaming and gaming peripherals, and then in the second part, sharing with you what is it that we are actually paying for when we buy our next flagship gaming gear. And in case you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated, and let's audit the details. If you ask someone who doesn't play PC games to choose between a $30 keyboard or mouse and a $150 gaming keyboard or mouse, they'll most probably likely go for the cheaper option. I mean, technically speaking, there is absolutely nothing wrong with picking up a non-gaming peripheral to play PC games, as choosing a gaming peripheral doesn't exactly mean it will automatically make you a better gamer. So what exactly do gaming peripherals offer? In short, they offer a lot more features over non-gaming ones, such as N-key rollover in keyboards, which allows you to input multiple buttons at the same time, precise high-quality sensors for accurate tracking in gaming mouse, and ultra-low latency wireless connectivity technologies should you pick up a wireless device. On top of that, gaming peripherals would generally offer more customization abilities via hardware or software to allow you to find the settings that best work for you to help you gain that extra competitive advantage. Oh, and how can I not forget to mention that gaming peripherals are more flashy with their customizable RGBs. So now that we've covered the differences, let's move on to the next part and find out why these gaming peripherals are so much more expensive. For this video, I'll be using publicly available financial data from 3 well-known gaming peripheral companies to do a cost breakdown for you. So hang in there if numbers and financial sheets bore you, but I'll try my best to make this brief. Also, please take everything with a grain of salt, as these are my assumptions based on the data that I found, and I could be wrong. Anyways, starting with Corsair's reported income of fiscal year 2020, you can see that they have made $1.7 billion in sales. But as these figures include the sales of other products which are not just limited to peripherals, but also include computer hardware and systems such as power supplies, cooling solutions, DRAM modules, and a couple others, these percentages are just a rough estimate. Anyways, a big 72.6% of the revenue will cover the cost of producing their products, while 15.1% of this revenue will cover their general marketing and admin expenses, and a small 2.9% will be for their expenses in research and development of future products. Moving on to Razer. From their $1.2 billion sales in 2020, 77.7% of the revenue is to cover their cost of producing their peripherals, which is the company with the highest cost of production compared to the other two. As for their marketing and admin expenses, it consists of 17.6% of revenue, while 4.5% is to fund the development of future peripherals. As for the company with the current largest market share, Logitech, since they produce both and sell both gaming and non-gaming peripherals, but judging from their annual report, gaming and productivity peripherals are their strongest trend in 2020. So it is safe to assume that from these figures, when you buy a Logitech product, 61.9% of your money will be going to cover the cost to produce the peripheral, while 21% will be covering the marketing costs such as promotional events. And surprisingly, only a small 5.9% will be used to fund their R&D in developing newer and better technologies for their future products. So judging from these percentages, when you purchase your next gaming peripheral, a surprisingly large portion of the price is to cover the cost of production for peripherals for all 3 companies. The majority of these costs mainly occur from the use of higher performance components that offers more features in gaming peripherals, but cost more than general standard components found in non-gaming products due to more limited sources for these components. For instance, Even though this G Pro X Superlight looks not too different from an ordinary $10 Logitech mouse on the outside, the components used in it are of higher performance, and it has a more expensive and fine-tunable, better IPS tracking sensor, better lag-free wireless signal transmitter, and a supposedly higher quality and more durable switches compared to this ordinary mouse. And even though you can game with this $10 mouse, the software-supported fine-tuning and lag-free wireless connection of the G Pro X Superlight makes it more enjoyable to game with. By the way, stay subscribed so you won't miss out my upcoming review of this mouse. And because as more features are added to the peripheral, the more components are needed and the higher the price, which is probably the reason why many flagship models are sometimes priced so ridiculously high. The second largest cost is the selling and marketing expense. Because of the fierce competition for market share in the gaming peripheral market, companies like Razer and Logitech spend an average of 11.1% and 17.9% of their revenue respectively to promote via esports teams and influencer sponsorships and other channels, so there's that. So, in conclusion, it is safe to say that the next time you buy a gaming peripheral from a reputable company, you will be mostly paying for higher performance and possibly higher quality components, and marketing and selling expenses. Though, keep in mind that as previously mentioned, choosing a gaming peripheral won't necessarily make you a better gamer, so it all comes down to finding the balance between the features offered by the peripheral and the features needed by you. Alright, so I hope today's video was informative and helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button as it will help this channel a lot more than you know it, and I'll see you again in the next video.